Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. I hope you're having yourselves a tremendous morning this morning and enjoying life wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You're having some fun out there in this beautiful world. So my best to each and every single one of you as we get set here to bring you a truly special broadcast from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So awesome to be here with you on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and of course on facebook.com/livenowdt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So however you're connecting with the show, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. As I said, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, it is an honor and a privilege to be here. Cafe Kubal providing for you an opportunity to connect with the community and support the local community by heading out to 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street, as well as 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital, as well as on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So make your way out to Cafe Kubal today and fill your cup with all of your favorites. So thank you for being a part of the show, and thank you for being here with us today. And inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we have a fantastic show coming up for you this morning featuring Bo Edmundson in hour number one, the 2023 quarterback hailing from Lake Travis, right here, wearing the correct attire. So from Lake Travis in Texas, he'll be joining us in just a couple minutes to speak on so many things, including the fact that this gentleman, last time we spoke, had offers from SMU, UTSA, and Oklahoma State. He has since received offers from Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, and Tulsa. So we'll be talking with him about a recruiting update, many recruiting updates, as well as what it takes to be a good leader and so much more. Bo is really going to let you get a peek into his life and how he thinks and who he is and what he's all about. And I'm very excited to be able to share this moment with you. Bo is somebody that we have chronicled before he had an offer, and after his first offer, after, he got UTSA and Oklahoma State, had him back on again. And now we have him on here with 6 new offers coming in. And it is truly a privilege for me to be able to speak with Bo. And I'm so excited about everything that is going to be coming with this young man as he moves forward in his career on and off the field. And we'll be chronicling the entire history of Bo right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Bo has been fantastic. The Edmundson family has been incredible about giving me an opportunity to really get to know Bo and to share who Bo is and what he's all about here on the broadcast. So, 2023 quarterback coming out of Lake Travis in Texas, who will be here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora all the way through and speak with him on everything, literally sharing all that has gone on. And I feel very privileged for the opportunity to be able to do that. So Bo is an incredible human being, and you're going to get to really know that as you listen to him this morning. So I'm happy to be able to share that with you and have some fun with you today. So thank you to everyone that is connected with Bo, and of course a big thanks to his parents for all that they've done to raise such a good young man. And I look forward to sharing this with you. So, with that being said, we're going to take a fast break. We'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When we return, you will see me and Bo on screen together inside the Cafe Kubal studios to tell his story, his beautiful and amazing story that is still being written every single day. And it's not just about recruiting. It's not just about X's and O's. It's not just about football. There is so much that Bo brings to the table, and I'm very, very excited to be able to share that with you here today. So, with that being stated, sit back, relax, and get ready for one of the best conversations that I believe Wake Up Call will be able to bring to you in our history. So, that's coming up. And then in hour number 2, the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, where we were last night for an incredible event with the West Genesee Wrestling Team. Thank you to everybody that was there and all of my special guests. A big shout out to Scotty and Jake, as well as to Peter and Kyle, Connor, Nate, and of course Coach Brian McCavin. A lot of great stuff. You can go back and watch those on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. We're also going to share them on the website, WakeUpCallDT.com, and you'll be able to catch them on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT as well. So many great things. A lot of great ways to get involved. Make sure you connect with us on Facebook and YouTube. Twitter at CallDT. Facebook, where you are right now, at WakeUpCallDT. Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. So many places to connect with us, and we hope that you do that as we get set to tell these amazing stories like those of Mr. Bo Edmundson, and of course that we get to have Mike Sofka on for an extended Fantasy Football Power Hour. We have 2 this week instead of 1, and so we have the opportunity to continue to break down the backfields of the NFL, keeping in the AFC with the West and the South coming up in hour number 2. So a lot of great stuff here on the show this morning, and I'm very honored that you're here. So with that being stated, we'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Bo will be joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. For those of you on mixlr.com/WakeUpCallDT, I ask that you shift to YouTube this morning, to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT, or to Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, so that you can see and hear from Bo this morning if you're able to do that. So we look forward to having you there, and Bo will be with us right after this.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located right at the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road, is proud to be your local neighbor, growing with you for over 20 years. We're open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and drinks. For takeout, delivery, or catering, call us at 315-622-5100. When you order online and use our promo code AVS10, you will save 10% on your online purchase at myavicolis.com. And make sure to join us monthly for our live on-site broadcasts centered around Liverpool athletics. Avicoli's, your local, trusted neighbor right at the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying. In the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecubal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpazsnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out there and download their app on the Apple app or Google Play Store, so you'll have everything at your fingertips, from their homemade breads and desserts to their salads, quinoa bowls, rice bowls, brick oven pizzas, and their sandwiches named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski. Find your way out to the Millhouse Market Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. with 3 different awesome, amazing experiences to connect with them. You can have the drive-through window where you just drive up, pick up your food, and go, that you either called in or utilized on the Millhouse Market app, or you could go inside for indoor dining. And you can also go inside for their general store, where they have local products from local companies, and the honeys that they have, as well as the pure maple syrup and everything that they provide at the Millhouse Market. Truly helping out the community, helping each other, and helping our taste buds. So make sure you make your way out to the place that is absolutely, positively worth the drive every time, and that is the Millhouse Market, 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, as well as on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt and on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So many ways to connect with us inside of the Cafe Kubal studios every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And the gentleman that is here with me is no stranger to the broadcast. He's been on a bunch of times. I wear the right apparel when I have him here on the broadcast, and I wear it all throughout Central New York. I wear it when I'm traveling. Lake Travis showing some love to the 2023 quarterback here, Mr. Bo Edmundson, who is joining us from beautiful and sunny Texas. Bo, how we doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. And I'm liking the hair right now. The style is good. It's a little bit shorter. I'm feeling it. You got your
haircut yesterday.
You got your haircut yesterday. Good stuff. So you're inside of the Alabama war room right now, it looks like.
Yeah, we're in the den. It's the Alabama memorabilia place.
So I mean, I know that you got a big time love for the Crimson Tide. You have a bunch of offers. We're going to get into them. We've talked about some of them. We have so many to get to, but bring me into life right now. What's been going on? Catch us up. I always like to hear what you're doing, how you're pushing yourself, just kind of what you're up to as far as being on the field and making sure that you're honing your talent.
So we're getting into spring. We've been in spring for the past 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And this is the last week of spring game Friday, and then school's out in about a week, and then it's busy summer schedule.
What do you have coming up for the summer?
I have a lot. So it's SMU to Penn State to Oklahoma State to North Carolina to Duke, and then to LSU. And then a couple more in July if we can fit.
So SMU to Penn State to Oklahoma State. Bring us through it again.
And then it's going to go Duke, North Carolina, LSU.
Duke, North Carolina, and LSU. So that is your unofficial visit tracker that you're doing.
That's kind of unofficial visit. That's kind of camp. So I think the only unofficial visit right now I have is, I guess, Penn State. I don't know. That's a camp. That's like a camp thing, but only recruits are going. So I don't have like any unofficial visits, but it's kind of like an unofficial visit.
So you're camping at all these places? You're doing camps?
I'm gonna camp, yes sir. Yes.
So SMU, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Duke, North Carolina, LSU. SMU and Penn State have offered you. Oklahoma State's offered you. So three haven't in Duke, North Carolina, and LSU. Why? Bring me into the Duke, North Carolina, and LSU camps. How did this come about? These schools haven't offered you yet, so bring me into the connection and why they want you out there and why you're going out there.
I always thought UNC, North Carolina, and Duke are just like some of the best schools in the country. So getting the opportunity to go up there, the dates aligned, so I was like, let's go for it. So we have that scheduled, and then LSU, we've been going back and forth talking to each other, and they wanted me to go to a camp. So I was like, I'm in, SEC. That means Death Valley.
Yeah, man. I mean, and you, these schools given you any notion of like, we haven't offered you yet, but if we see you at camp and we like what we see, we could get there? I mean, has there been any conversation like that?
Yes. It's like, we don't want to offer you quite yet. We want to see you in person, get to know you a little bit better. And I understand that. Just trust the process. Go up to a camp, see the campus, and that's what I want to do. See the campus, have a good relationship with the coaches. So I'm excited.
What do you like about, I want to go individually to these three schools that haven't offered yet that you're doing camps at. What do you like about Duke?
Duke is Duke. I mean, it's the high academics. It's in a pretty part of North Carolina. It's historic. Their offensive coaches are awesome. I mean, it's Duke.
And David Cutcliffe is the quarterback guru, and I've known that man for a long time. So, I mean, you know, you being around him for 5 minutes, just best advice I would tell you is to be a sponge. But, I mean, a guy that knows how to train quarterbacks, he trained the Mannings. There's something to be said about, I mean, and Daniel Jones, you know, top 4 pick to the Giants. So there's something to be said about how David Cutcliffe just knows how to talk to a quarterback.
Exactly.
So that's do you have a relationship with Cutcliffe?
I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him yet. I've been in contact with the defensive coach there.
Okay.
Just like saying, hey, we have a camp. Just come out. Love to see you. And then it's lined up good with the North Carolina camp. They're actually on back-to-back days. So just knock both of those out in one trip.
I think you should definitely tell them. Tell the North Carolina teams you're going to see the other one. I'm sure that'll go well.
I know.
So tell me about North Carolina. Like you said, back-to-back days. What makes you want to go out to the Tar Heels and see what they're all about?
I've actually been to their campus once, I guess. We were just driving through from our beach house going to the airport, just like through Raleigh. And we're like, all right, let's stop in. And the campus was amazing. So checking that out, see the football facilities. I saw the baseball facilities a little bit. It's like peeking into their stadium. And if their football stadium is as nice as their baseball stadium, I think will be good.
You know, Lord knows if he's going to be there because this is his second stint. But Mac Brown's done a lot of work to resurrect North Carolina quickly. Does that entice you at all that this historic coach is back on the field?
It's Mac Brown. I think it entices everybody who knows the name. I mean, he's an awesome coach. That'd be a dream come true to play for him. Get to play for him.
Then there's this LSU team that, you know, in recent history won a national championship and sent multiple guys number 1 pick to the NFL. We saw Jamarcus Russell out of LSU win a BCS championship and the number 1 overall pick. Joe Burrow won a college football playoff championship and became the number 1 pick. So, you know, as a quarterback, I would venture to say that as far as playing in the SEC, playing on a national stage, playing for a national championship, and potentially being a top draft pick in the NFL, that should probably be a team that's on your list, I would imagine.
Can't go wrong with LSU. It's in the best. I mean, it's in the SEC. So, and you're playing in Death Valley in front of 100,000 people every home game. That's crazy to me.
You know, and being in, you know, Louisiana, Baton Rouge and all that, I mean, have you been to Louisiana? Do you know what life is like on the bayou? I mean, I've been to New Orleans, but what do you know about Louisiana?
I've been there once, just driving through again. But I don't know if I officially know what it's like to live on the bayou.
Do you like crawfish? Do you? Do you like jazz music?
I can handle that. Yes, sir.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
like.
How much do you know about Coach O, Mr. Ogeron, the Raging Cajun himself? How much do you know about him?
I know how much probably the average person knows. He's a really good coach, but I haven't got to talk to him personally. But if the opportunity presents itself, I'd love to talk ball with him.
It seems like he's a down to earth guy. That as big as the game is, he still cares. He just had Joe Burrow. What does that do for you as a future quarterback?
Just seeing how he and Coach Brady produced Joe Burrow is crazy. Coming from transferring schools, he had 2 years at LSU. Joe told a story. Joe Burrow told a story. It's like his senior year, his last year at LSU. He walked in and the playbook was completely different. And he was like, "What's this?" He's like, "We're changing it to fit you." So I think it's a program where anybody could thrive, and that's something that I look for.
Speaking here with Bo Edmundson about his recruitment, 2023 quarterback coming out of Lake Travis in Texas. Of the other schools you're going to camps at, you're starting at SMU and going to Penn State and Oklahoma State. They have all offered you. Bring me into the SMU camp and why you wanted to go see them.
SMU camp, they're doing it's called like a mega camp. So there's about, I think they're up to 40 or 50 schools that are going to attend there. So it's going to be held at SMU, but coaches from those other schools are going to be in attendance. So some of the schools, like Utah, is going to be there, and I actually have a Utah offer. So it'd be cool to maybe talk to a Utah coach. And then other schools that are going, like Auburn's going, so that'd be cool if that could happen too.
So SMU is doing this camp, but it's a mega camp, so other schools are going to be involved. So by going to the SMU camp, you're essentially putting yourself in front of SMU, but you're also putting yourself in front of the rest of the nation.
Exactly. So it's a quick drive, and we don't have to go around the country to all those schools.
What can you say about having an opportunity like that and how big that could be? Because, when you and I were talking, you got your first offer. Well, we talked before your offer. Then we talked about when you got SMU. Then we talked when you got Oklahoma State and UTSA. And since then, since we've talked about those three schools, you've gotten Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, and Tulsa. Arguably, you do what you got to do. You handle your business. You take personal responsibility and work within controlling the controllables. You could come out of the SMU camp with a bunch of offers from around the nation, and you could really put yourself in a position where multiple conferences, if not all the conferences, are looking at you because of the different schools that are going to be there. This SMU camp that starts off your camp days in the summer could really be something that takes what's already great and catapults you into a place where you are one of those names that nationally is going to be looked at.
I mean, that's the plan. Hopefully we can just start building a relationship with the coaches that are there. Maybe not expecting offers at all. Just go in there, have a good time, play football. That's all there is to it.
Do you feel the pressure? I mean, knowing that could be such a big moment for your career, do you feel that?
I mean, obviously there's some sort of, this school's here, that school's here, but at the end of the day, you just got to compete and throw.
How do you lock in, Bo? Like, how do you shut it all out? How do you say, okay, this is a huge moment for my recruiting, this coach is here, this team is here. How do you shut all of that out and say, like you just did, you smiled like a little kid and said, hey, it's just throwing. How do you really lock in and focus on that's all it is instead of, being kind of worried about who's in the crowd?
I think it's you have to have a good relationship with yourself. You have to know how to get through adversity. Your mechanics, you don't want to do too much. You just got to stay fluid with your mechanics. Do you. Don't try and do anybody else. Just do you. And I feel like that'll take you a long way.
I love what you said. You have to have a good relationship with yourself. People talk about having good relationships, and it's always with other people. They forget about the most important relationship you can have besides the one you have with God, which is with yourself. How have you fostered a good relationship with yourself? How has Bo taken care of Bo?
It's kind of learning. When I was younger, I didn't have a very good attitude. When times got tough, just like I'm quitting, like this is over with. Learning from that, and I'm a quarterback. You got to be the leader of the team, and if people can see that you're pouting, that you're mad, the whole team, you're going to bring the whole team down. And my coaches have done a good job of keeping me up, and now they don't have to do it. It's just all on me.
You said your coaches did a good job of keeping you up, and now it's all on you. How long did it take for that transition of you didn't have a good attitude, your coaches lifted you up, and now you can do it? How long did that transition take from you weren't doing it, they helped you to do it, and now you don't need their help to do it, and you can take that upon yourself?
It was obviously, it wasn't just a snap of the fingers. It took a little bit of time, but if you just stay with it and don't get frustrated, then it'll go a lot faster.
Why didn't you have the best attitude? What was it that, when you were younger, you just felt like you didn't have the best way of maybe approaching things?
I just think I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't seen as like a leader, I guess, or I didn't see myself as a leader. I just saw myself as another piece. But now, realizing the importance of being a quarterback, you've got to be a leader, and you've got to have the good attitude.
Being a leader, who taught you how to be? Like, where do you pull your kind of inspiration from?
You got to have it from your parents, you got to have it from your coaches, and then your teammates to lift you up, to keep you accountable. One word we use in our program is be accountable. If your teammates aren't holding you accountable, then you're on your own, and that's never good.
Your teammates holding you accountable, you holding your teammates accountable. How has that gone? Do you feel like you can listen to them? Do you feel like they listen to you? What's life like when you're in the huddle? What's life like when you're in practice, when you're in the locker room? How is that dynamic with your teammates?
We gotta start with a relationship outside of football first. I feel like if I'm just walking into a team and I'm just all football, I don't know if they would respond well to that. I feel like I want to have a side outside of football and be a personal guy. Because last year I wasn't the most vocal guy because I got named the starter like a week before the season. So it's hard to really keep the seniors accountable. Being a sophomore, I wasn't going to really go out of my way to say, hey, this is wrong, even if I knew it.
So how did you bridge that gap, from being a starter right before the season, like, you were the backup, and then you find out you're going to be the starter right before the season starts, like a week before. You got seniors, you're a sophomore, so there's the notion of maybe they won't listen to you. How have you transitioned now to say, to the guys that are still here, to the guys that didn't graduate, I am your leader, and this is what I'd like to do. Like you said, if you knew something was wrong, you still maybe didn't necessarily say it. How have you evolved to say, I may be younger than you, but I'm here to be your leader, and I hope that you'll listen to me. These are my thoughts. How do you bridge the gap of somebody saying, you're the young gun and we don't need to listen to you?
I think you just got to go in it with confidence. And again, I'm not a yeller. I feel like if people just constantly yell, then people are like, all right, he's just yelling again. But I feel like if you actually talk with them, be understanding, then they're going to be like, all right, this guy's understanding, I'm going to be understanding with them. And then I'm not a yeller, but if I'm going to yell at somebody, like they're probably going to know it's for a reason. I'm not just going to yell to yell.
And I think that that's a beautiful thing because you brought up a perfect point. It's not just with football, it's with anything in life. Someone who is prone to yelling, it loses its value and it loses its kind of ability to make people stop. If you always yell, then people have just kind of transitioned into hearing your voice at that high octave. And so it is what you said. People just go, oh, yeah, okay, Bo's yelling again, Dan's yelling again, whatever. But when I was coaching, and I was coaching soccer from 8 to 11-year-olds in my U12 team that I had in Carbondale, PA, shout out to the Pride, when I had them, I yelled in practice one day. The kids were not listening, and I yelled twice. And I was really upset. I was like, listen, like you guys, we're like wasting time. We're not preparing for anything. None of you are listening to what we're doing. The kids stopped And I remember that they looked scared. And I remember that it was like a good scared. And they said, Coach, we'll stop. And they said, because we know that this is different. And I said, what do you mean? And these are little kids. And they said, well, they said, when you yell during the games, we know that it's like, you're pushing us and you're helping us, and it's a different yell. But the yell that you're doing now, we know that you're mad. They could literally hear the difference between, Coach is raising his voice to make us better and to help us, and Coach is raising his voice because we've totally lost his respect. And because they knew the difference between yelling and yelling, they changed their tune. And I think that made me feel so great. It's one of the greatest moments of my life where I was like, oh my God, somebody knows the difference. But I think with you as a leader, as a quarterback, there is that difference of, if you're on the field and you raise your voice to get them to, okay, you guys, like, listen, when we're running this play, I need you to get farther outside, because what you're doing, cutting inside and going out, the timing isn't on, the guy's staying on you. I need you to make this break quicker. Like, that is vastly different than you just screaming in their face that they suck, and they're going to know the difference. And when you're upset in the huddle, if you're not upset all the time and you raise your voice, but it's different, they're going to know the difference between, okay, Bo's trying to get the best out of me, and okay, Bo's told me this 7 times and I haven't done it, and he's really getting frustrated.
Yep. I think you got to have that, and it starts with a relationship. I'm not going to not have a relationship and then go yell at somebody or try and fix something. You got to have a relationship, and I feel like I have a good relationship with all the guys, all the offensive guys, and all the defensive guys on the team this year, and I feel like that could take us a long way.
How did you build those relationships? Did you do it individually? Did you go to each person on the team and kind of just in practice or in school or, just somewhere try to build it? I mean, did you build it in groups? Did you build it individually? How did you get to a point where you felt like, there's not a guy on this team that I feel that I haven't tried to create a bond with?
I think you got to go to every person at one moment and be like, yo, what up? Just like talk to them. I mean, I try and talk to everybody. Sometimes you can't talk to everybody, but I feel like the guys that I need to have a relationship with, I talk to every day.
And over time, being the starter, finding out you're the starter right before the season began, how long has it taken you to talk to everybody?
I mean, it took not very long, just seeing him. I mean, I see him every day. And it doesn't have to be a 5-minute conversation. It could be a 2-second, hey, what's up? How you doing? That's all it takes.
For you as a leader, when did you start to feel like you were gaining respect from the team?
I think when you get respect is during the hard times. So the season, it's good. Even in the last playoff game, I wasn't very vocal, so I don't think I really had their respect. I think it was this offseason when we really started. I mean, offseason's hard. It sucks. But everybody comes together, and you got to come together. And I think that's why offseason sucks, to get the team close.
You said offseason sucks. What sucks about it?
It's just hard. I mean, it's mentally challenging. That's the purpose of it, is to be mentally challenging. We want to be a mentally tough team, and I feel like to be mentally tough, you got to be on your own at some points, but to be great mentally tough, you got to be together.
And mental toughness, we've discussed it before. You can know every play in the playbook. You can go out and lift. You could work on your footwork. You can go run. You can do all of those things correct. You can scout the other team. But at the end of the day, if you're not mentally tough and anybody gets in that head, be it a teacher, be it a family member, be it a so-called friend, be it some random person in the crowd, if somebody gets, or a DB, if someone gets in your head, you're done. So how do you practice mental toughness? Because it's not something that you just like did today and you're like, okay, I have it for the rest of my life. You got to work on that every day.
It's every day. The defense is going to chirp. They're going to chirp every day, and it's just getting with the guys. And we have a couple of young guys on the team, and I feel like we need to help them work on being mentally tough. Like, they're talking back to the defense. Doesn't matter. Just play our game. Our game will be good.
You building relationships, coming on as a young gun, did you ever feel like people were like, I've been here longer than you, get out of here, rookie? Did you feel that at all?
Not really. What I really liked or what I loved is the teammates were always, I mean, I've had the best teammates all my life. That since Pee Wee and now to high school. So I think my teammates have done a great job of just being a team, and I feel like that's something that we have here.
How do you define a good leader, a great leader? Because we're talking about all these things you had to do to build yourself as a leader. So how do you define it?
I think you got to hold yourself accountable for everything. And then once people say, all right, he's doing this, all right, let's do it. And then you got to like prove it on the field too. I think you got to show out a little bit on the field.
Well, and I think that thing is actions speak louder. You can tell the guys whatever you want to tell them, but you got to put your money where your mouth is. I mean, you have to be able to compete and do a good job. I mean, if you tell them to run their routes a certain way, or you talk to your offensive line and say, hey, like, how you're blocking, this is how I'm stepping back, this is what I'm seeing. If you're giving them advice, but you're not completing the pass and your timing is off, if a guy runs a perfect route and you throw behind him, there's
no point.
Yeah. So I think you really do have to actions speak louder than words, because you can talk till you're blue in the face, but they're going to have to see you be successful in order to truly believe in you. I think you have to show them.
If you try and critique somebody's route and then you miss them, they're like, well, he just critiqued my route and he still can't hit me. So I think you got to show it on the field a little bit, but you got to have a good relationship with them too.
So these relationships, when you do miss them on a route, when you do make a mistake, how do these relationships help you get through it? Do you think you've built enough of a foundation with your teammates that when you make a mistake, they still respect you?
Yeah, I do, because when they make a mistake, it's all good. Next play. I think it's going both ways there. Everybody makes mistakes every day. So one mistake isn't the end of the world, and it never will be. So just keep in with it.
Do the mistakes keep you up at night, or do you let them go?
No, just let them go. After practice is done, it's over with. Just got to learn from it, watch film, and move on.
Can you bottle up all of this energy and give it to the rest of the world? Because I don't think that they do what you do.
I don't know. It's purely internal.
And that's the thing, is that it's got to come from a good support system. I mean, I would imagine there's faith. I mean, obviously I've gotten to meet your mom, Debbie, but there's got to be, the way that you were raised, or your faith in something, or something of that, I would imagine helps you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going from parents. I think if you have a good parent, if you're good parents, then you're going to be a good kid. And I feel like I have best parents in the world, so it's awesome. It's easy at that point.
What's so good about your parents? Why are they the best?
They keep me accountable. Accountability is probably the most important thing, I think, in the world. Accountability. You gotta be accountable. They're not just gonna let me do whatever. They're gonna be strict, but they're not gonna be just like over the top.
You smile when you say it. You enjoy it. Was there ever a point where you thought they were too hard on you, or personal responsibility was a term you didn't like hearing? Was there ever a moment where it bugged you, or no?
I mean, I assume it bugged me at some point, but I don't think I'd be here now without that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see you as getting offers and being successful and winning games if you don't have accountability and personal responsibility. I don't think we're talking today. I don't think you're a quarterback today. I don't think you see the field today if you don't have responsibility and accountability.
Got to show up on time every day, and it's a grind, but got to be accountable.
Why do you love this game so much?
You get to go out there every day with your boys and compete, learn from it, and at the end of the day, it's the best sport in the world.
Concussions, CTE, all of this stuff that can come from, especially being a quarterback. Does it scare you? Your positivity is awesome. And I'm going to play back these questions when the NFL is asking you them someday. But I appreciate the fact that, as a 2023 incoming freshman, that you can answer these questions, Bo. I'm in awe, and I know I've talked to you about a lot of stuff, but I truly am in awe, and I'm not saying this because we're here together today. I very much am taken aback by the fact, in a positive way, that you are so level-headed, positive-minded. You take responsibility. You have accountability. You just know how to be a professional, and that is why I believe you're going to go as far as you want to go.
Thank you. I mean, I feel like that's the most important thing. Just gotta stay level.
So you're level-headed. You're doing. Are you like this in personal life when things don't go your way in dating, or you're driving in the car and somebody cuts you off, or one of your friends stiffs you when they're supposed to show up for something? Are you as level-headed off the field?
Probably not, to be honest. But I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to be like mean about it. I'm just going to. You got to hold them accountable. So on the field, I'm different. But I feel like that's another. You got to have a side outside of football. You can't just be all football, all football, all football. You got to have a balance.
It seems like it would be easier to be mellow outside of football than in football, but it sounds like you are more honed in football. How the heck do you transition to having a barbaric sport that's, a million things happening at once, and that's the place where, it seems like you're almost the most calm on the football field.
That's what you got to be. You got to be calm, cool, collected. You're the quarterback. If you're acting crazy, offensive line's going to act crazy, your receiver's going to act crazy, and then when they're crazy, that's not how they normally are, and that's when mistakes happen and turnovers happen, and that's how losses happen.
You're down by 14. There's 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. What's going through your head?
Got to get the ball in the end zone. Got to give us a shot. Just got to play.
3 incompletions. It's 4th down. Now there's 1:57 left. You're still down by 2 touchdowns. Why do you keep believing?
Same mindset. Because I know the guys across from me and the guys with me on the team would never give up for me, so I'm never going to give up for them.
I love it. I'll sign you right now. Where do you want to play? So SMU has the big mega camp. You're going to Penn State's camp. Tell me about that one.
Penn State, that actually happened kind of recently. That the stars aligned on that one. It's going to be a little hectic getting from place to place to place. But I don't think it's an opportunity I can turn down. Going to Penn State, seeing Penn State, meeting the coaches there for the first time, or like actually meeting them face to face. I feel like that'll be huge.
And yeah, when you got the offer from Penn State, we'll talk about those offers in a second, but kind of just to put a little window into it, when you saw Penn State offer, did that have a special different weight to it? Because I don't know. From my point of view, I see Penn State's history, and I see, how the campus and the people and just, Joe Pa and all of that. What does an offer from Penn State mean? Does it feel different?
That one was definitely different feeling. I think that was, that was my second Big Ten offer. And just seeing how conferences spread. I got a Purdue offer, and then a week or 2 weeks later, you get a Penn State offer. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and to go to your offers, we talked about SMU, UTSA, which is Texas San Antonio, and Oklahoma State. Since then, you got Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, Tulsa. You talk about Purdue opening the door on the Big Ten. Purdue gave you an offer, then Penn State, then Michigan State. It was boom, boom, boom. Once Purdue did it, you got 3 offers inside of the Big Ten. Tell me about Purdue. Bring me into the offer. How did you find out? Let's go one by one and catch up with these teams here in the world of Bo Edmundson, the 2023 quarterback coming from Lake Travis out of Texas. I want to go on this recruiting trail with you and follow the bouncing ball. Bring me into Purdue, how this happened, how you found out. what can you say about Purdue?
So Purdue was after practice. I was just sitting in my coach's office, and he was like, all right, I need you to call Coach Brom at Purdue, who's QB coach. I was like, oh, cool. Coach Mangino was like, yeah. Like, he told me like a week prior. He was like, all right, Coach Brom's probably want to get you on the phone in a little bit. And I was like, all right, cool. So I get on the phone, get to know each other. That was the first time talking to him. Then he offers me, and that was his first Big Ten offer, so that was crazy.
You know, and when you say it was the first Big Ten offer, so it was crazy. What, as a quarterback, why do you respect the Big Ten?
I think you got to respect anywhere where people – I mean, you got to respect all schools, doesn't matter who, but there's another level of respect for schools that have produced they produced Drew Brees. So I think just knowing their history is pretty cool.
Jim Everett, Len Dawson, Bob Greasy, Drew Brees, all coming through Purdue. You just mentioned Drew Brees. What does that mean to you that a school that has those names, especially, you know, the Dawsons and the Greasys and the Brees of it all, what does that mean to you?
Just following their footsteps, having an opportunity to follow their footsteps, that's pretty cool.
I mean,
that's pretty special.
Drew Brees, Super Bowl champion, you know, in recent history here, just retired. Mm-hmm. Can you, I mean, do you ever think about going, you know, playing at Purdue and, you know, you drop back as quarterback, you throw a touchdown, the game ends, and in the locker room there's Drew Brees, and he shakes your hand and says, hey, Bo, I just want to tell you had a good game.
I mean, obviously, I haven't thought of that before, but there's obviously some thought of being able to play at their stadium on that stage, and that's pretty cool.
And it's a beautiful thing. And then here comes Penn State. Bring me into the Penn State offer. Let's go a little bit deeper into that. This is a team that in recent history has been right outside of the college football playoff as like the fifth team. They, you know, under James Franklin have put a lot of things together. And so what's the James Franklin factor? What's the Penn State factor? Bring me into what you like about Penn State and also how you found out about this one.
The history of Penn State is obviously pretty special. My dad has told me since day one, Penn State's most historic football team, one of the most historic football teams. So getting the opportunity to play for them and Coach Franklin and Coach Yurchich is pretty special.
Your dad tells you about Penn State and what did he say about the history?
I called him and he was like, well, that's definitely one of the most historic football teams. Growing up, watching their old school videos, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the Penn State Nittany Lions, I mean, throughout history have just been a notable school. Then we go to Michigan State. Bring me into that offer. How'd you find out about Michigan State, and what do you think about the Spartans?
I mean, be another Big Ten opportunity. Got on the phone with Coach Johnson, their QB coach, and it was crazy. It's Michigan State. We have a lot. I have a couple of friends whose parents went there, whose brother goes there, but they love it there. The history there. It's Penn State. Get to play against Michigan. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Michigan State thing. I mean, what do you think about that? And if Michigan were to offer you, what would that be like for you to know that both fan bases on social media would be reaching out to you and kind of, you know, trying to pull you between Michigan and Michigan State?
I think it'd be a kind of a weird feeling. And then obviously if you go to the other school, then they bash you.
Yeah.
But it'd be pretty funny. It'd be pretty cool to see.
Utah offers you, here's a school inside of the Pac-12. Here's a school that's done some really great things in recent history. They know how to send guys to the NFL at the quarterback position. What do you think about Utah?
Utah was pretty cool. Our old Lake Travis QB, Charlie Brewer, goes there right now. And I went on a trip to Utah, not even like to go to the school. I just went to Salt Lake. Salt Lake City. And driving to where I was staying from the airport, you could see the stadium in the mountains, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And thinking back, now I have an opportunity to play there. I think that's even more special.
How did you find out about Utah?
Coach Mangino texted me the offense coordinator's number, just told him to give him a call, and it happened. It was awesome.
So there's this guy that went to Utah. I don't know if you know him. He's a former number 1 pick, Alex Smith. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on the fact that he came out of the Utah Utes?
That's a pretty good thought. Obviously, he's had a great career. His comeback was pretty inspirational, very inspirational. So that's cool to see that he went to Utah.
So then we get Kentucky, which opens your SEC doors. The first SEC offer. Now that SEC thing is open. The LSU camp is coming up. Alabama's in the SEC, who you love very much. Bring me into the day that the SEC opened their door to Bo Edmundson and said, hey, why don't you play in here?
Coach Mangino, so our offense coordinator, Coach Mangino, he actually coached at Kentucky. He coached there for 3 or 4 years. And then he was there 2 years ago, and he has a great relationship with all the staff there. He still knows a lot of the staff, and I would ask him, how's Kentucky? And he'd always say it was super special, best place he's ever lived, best college he's ever gone to. And knowing that, and it's in the SEC, it's pretty special.
You know, and knowing the fact that he didn't have the most illustrious NFL career, but another number 1 pick, Tim Couch, Cleveland Browns, the return of the team in '99, he ends up the number 1. I mean, the schools that are offering you have sent number 1. Now, they haven't just sent quarterbacks to the NFL, they've sent number 1 picks to the NFL.
That's something crazy to think. Maybe in, I don't know how many years it's going to be, 5, 6 years. I mean, that the dream one day is that could be me.
Yeah, and an incredible dream to have that you should have on this road. Tulsa, Philip Montgomery, close with him. I built my relationship with him for, forever it feels like at this point, last, 7, 8 years. And having him at Tulsa, what Tulsa's done, they were a team that was chomping at the bit. They were a team that the win-loss record didn't show who they were. They were in all these games. They pushed all these teams, and they didn't just push teams. They pushed the best. They pushed the Oklahoma States, and I think Oklahoma State beat them 16-7 or something like that. They pushed these really, really tough teams in the American and out of the American, and they just weren't finishing the game. Then this time around, they end up doing that. They end up getting to the American Athletic Championship game. They end up, finally figuring out how to jump these barriers that they weren't jumping. They were getting like halfway there and getting stuck. They jumped over them this year. And then they sent a top 16 pick to the NFL in Zaven Collins at linebacker. What are your thoughts on Tulsa?
Tulsa's that was pretty cool too. The coach who offered me actually has a relationship with just a good relationship. They know some of our good friends down here. So it was cool to get on the phone, talk to him. And then he actually mentioned Zaven Collins. And I was like, that's weird. And then seeing him get picked on draft night, I was like, that's pretty cool. He went to Tulsa, and I just got offered by Tulsa. I could play there.
Yeah, a top linebacker getting chosen in the top 20. And so when did you find out about Tulsa?
Tulsa, I was on, I think it was a Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday. Just ending a week. It was after our little scrimmage, and Coach Mangino texted me, call this number, it's Tulsa, and they offered me, so it was awesome.
What's it like for your coach to you keep saying that. The coach just goes, hey, Bo, call this number. And it's like, and there's another offer.
It's kind of cool. You sometimes know it's coming, and then sometimes you don't. I think the Penn State offer was the one. The Penn State offer and then the SMU offer were probably the one that I was most surprised by. Obviously, the SMU offer, my first offer, so I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And then the Penn State offer, it was kind of crazy. Coach Franklin hopped on the phone. I was like, "Oh, this might be something." And then they offered me, and it was cool.
So those were the ones that I mean, obviously your first offer, because you didn't know when it was going to come, who it was going to come from, and whatnot. That SMU gave you that, but that Penn State, why did that one surprise you so much?
That was my third call with them. So actually, all the other schools that have offered me, I've had one call with them, or like the first call with them is the one that they offered me on.
Okay.
But building a relationship with Penn State prior, even made it even more so special.
Speaking here with Lake Travis quarterback in 2023 incoming freshman for college football, Mr. Bo Edmundson here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. 9 offers where we stand right now. 2023, you obviously have some time before all is said and done. What can you tell me when I tell you SMU, UTSA, Oklahoma State, Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, Tulsa, what goes through your head when you hear that list?
I guess just opportunities. All of them have an opportunity, and I have an opportunity to go there. And all of those schools are definitely in consideration. And it's crazy to think I could go to those all pretty high academic schools, have a good 3-4 year career at those schools, and see where it goes from there.
You know, and when we look at not only these schools, these 9 schools that have offered you, but we look at how they're represented around the country. Because of the offers you have a connection and an offer and a door open in the Conference USA, the American Athletic, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, and the Pac-12. To look at all of those conferences to say, of these 9 offers, there are 6 conferences that are looking at you. And that can only breed potential duplication of offers inside of those conferences. What does that mean to you that not only do you have 9 offers, but because they've come from different places, the Conference USA, the American, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, and the Pac-12 all know who you are at this point?
It's pretty cool to see how different conferences work together. And then when a new conference opens up, it's a cool experience. You can be like, oh, this school. But it's just, you just got to keep going, keep rolling. And if it comes, it comes. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
How, after you got the first 3, SMU, UTSA, and Oklahoma State, how quickly did Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, and Tulsa, what was the timeline of those 6?
The first 2, the SMU and the UTSA offer, they were kind of on their own. And then the Oklahoma State offer was kind of on its own. And then it was kind of like a time period, go through off season. And then after Purdue offered, and then it's kind of started picking up a little bit, just like more frequently, I guess. So that's cool to see. But they're all in consideration, and I'm ready for the summer.
Why do you think these offers started coming in from these other 6 schools? Why do you think things kind of kicked into high gear a little bit right now?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's how some conferences work together, and then I think it's just the coaches I have putting the word out there, and then coaches giving me opportunities.
Obviously these schools, offering you as they were finishing up with spring ball, maybe looking to their future, saying, okay, well, this is what we have in spring. This is what our team's going to look like this year. What does it mean to you that after they got through spring, that you were a name on their list, that they thought, hey, this is what we have. This is what I'm looking at. And to be 3 steps ahead of myself, I think Bo would be good here. To know that they were doing this after going through their spring practices.
I mean, I know they have a busy schedule. I mean, it's college football, it's spring. Just talking with Coach Mangino, their schedule is so busy. And being kind of fit in their schedule, I guess, that's something pretty cool.
How do you stay humble through all this? Because it's only, your responsibility, your accountability, your talent, who you are. envision that you could have 40 or 50 offers. How do you stay humble?
Good teammates, good coaches, good parents. They won't let me get big headed, and if I do, I don't think like having a big head is me. I just like want to be myself, and that's not me.
What is it about your game that's been improving as you step into the summer?
I think obviously I'm getting a lot more vocal. But one thing is my feet have gotten a lot better. Like my bass is getting a lot better. And then we worked a lot this summer and this off season on just like my whippiness, or like just my stroke, getting it quicker and just taking out a few kinks. And I feel like that's paid off a lot.
As you work on all these pieces and you step into the summer, what are you most excited about getting to? Like what's like the first thing on your mind? Because I know you get energized, and this is something that you just love like a little kid. So what is it that you're really thinking like, hey, I can't wait to do this? Like what's that thing that you're just really excited about?
Play in front of people. Play the season in front of people. I'm just ready for the season.
Being able to go to these camps and you're going to be in front of people, do you get this same? I know it's different than a game, but can you get yourself hyped up as much to be at a camp, or how is it?
Probably not. The feeling of playing a home game in front of people is a feeling like no other, and especially with our schedule this year. Our schedule last year was a little revised. We didn't get to play the big non-district games we play every year. So we're back to the normal schedule this year. We play Arlington Martin first game, then Judson second game, and then Rockwall third game. And those are three the best teams in state. In playing those teams, and that'll get us prepared and ready for the games to come.
Being in the state of Texas, your talent is going to push you. And when it comes to being a quarterback, there's an expectation. What do you love about Texas? It's what you know, but what do you love about it?
This is the best sports you can get. It was ranked the playoffs, the 6A Division I Texas high school football playoffs is the hardest football playoffs in all the country. And it shows. If you play bad, you're going to lose, even if it's to a team you should have beat. If you play bad, you're going to lose. I think in some other conferences, if you play bad, then you could get away with winning. Not here.
Is your talent, in your opinion, if you were in a different state, do you feel like you have enough that people would see your talent? How much do you put on playing in Texas, helping people to see you?
I think it obviously helps a lot. There's really no telling what the outcome would be if I didn't play in Texas. So I haven't really thought of that. But I think playing in Texas 6A Division I is probably the best thing I could have done.
And I know you said you were working on your footwork and your ability to run out of the pocket. Where's that at right now?
It's getting better. Just working every day with coach. Doing drills, making sure I'm escaping when I need to, staying in the pocket when I need to, pocket movements, keep my eyes downfield. Doing all right with that.
Speaking here with Bo Edmundson, Bo, before I let you go here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, 2023 quarterback out of Lake Travis in Texas. Bo, I have a new segment on the show that's every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time with a former Syracuse running back, Prince Tyson Gully, and it's called Check Down. You as a quarterback know what it's like to have the check down. By definition, it is when none of your reads are available, and either for a running back or a tight end, typically maybe a fullback, the quarterback will check down and throw to an emergency option. Bring me into the importance of the check down, and do you feel that you do it well? Do you feel that you survey the entire field and that you have quick vision and that you are able to make that emergency pass if you need to?
I feel like my eyes are pretty good. I feel like I have a good feel for my receivers, when they're open, when they're not, and when I can fit something in there and when I probably can't. So having that feel is easy to get from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to the check down. You just got to be on the same page with them. Set the protection one way. You know your hot throw. If he blitzes, it's automatic back. So we had a play a couple days ago. The running back's man blitzed. You just got to throw it to the back right now. Let him run.
So the check down for you feel is, something that you have comfort with, because some quarterbacks do not survey the field. And I don't know. They trust their arm strength, and I guess they just hope that the read is there on that first throw. But the great quarterbacks are the ones that know that, you have to, like you said, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to check down. Like, you have to, and you got to do that in what? 1.7 seconds, 2 seconds?
You ain't got a lot of time back there, and it's pretty crowded back there. You don't have a lot of space.
So how do you do that? How did you train? Is it just innate talent, or how do you train yourself to be able to see everything within 1 to 2 seconds, maybe 2.5, 3 seconds? How do you do it that quickly to read 4 options and your check down?
It's a lot of training and a lot of work, but at the end of the day, you just got to have a feel for it. I think it has to be natural. You don't really want to be a robot in the pocket, but you want to be, we always say, be quiet in the pocket. Your feet don't need to be super big. Your movements don't need to be super big. Just be subtle. Be subtle. You don't have a lot of room to move back there. Just got to be subtle.
Does anything rattle you?
I guess we'll find out.
I like that. Oklahoma State's the only camp we didn't talk about. Tell me about that one.
I'm excited for that. Oklahoma State has a special place. They were the first Big 12 team to offer me. They were the first team to really start reaching out to me. They offered me, sent me a camp invite. So I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So I accepted that. So I was committed to that for a while now. So definitely keeping with that.
That coming from Bo Edmundson. Bo, as always, in the spirit of fairness, to round out today's show, rapid fire, you have the opportunity to ask me any 3 questions in the world. So it can be sports, it can be football, it can be life, literally anything inside the Cafe Kubal studios. Hanging out with Bo Edmundson, 2023 quarterback, coming to you out of Lake Travis in Texas. One of my favorite hats to wear because of the person and the family. SMU, UTSA, Oklahoma State, Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, Tulsa, ... and the list goes on. 3 questions, Bo. You get to run the show for the next 3. What do you got?
Favorite route to throw if you're going to throw a route to a receiver?
Oh, man. Favorite route to throw? I would say, and when we played pickup and flag and stuff, I played quarterback. I would probably say that I would love to throw, like if I had a tall receiver, I'd love to throw the fade to the corner. And if not, what'd you say?
I said just jump ball, let him go catch it.
Yeah, let him go get it. Or the comeback. Love to have him go out and then just come back and give me that quick cut and let me throw it to him and hit him in the chest. I would probably say either the comeback or the fade.
Perfect. All right, and then I know you're sponsored by Chick-fil-A, and that's my personal favorite fast food. What are you getting there when you're going?
Chick-fil-A, I am typically getting, I really can't decide, so the last time I got both, but the spicy chicken deluxe sandwich and the 8-piece nugget. Those are my 2 favorites. And I used to always get Polynesian sauce, which I love, but I'm starting to really like their barbecue sauce.
I got you. I get the chicken sandwich and then the 12-piece. So
you're like me. So you can't decide between the sandwich and the actual, nuggets. So you just get both. Now I don't feel bad.
At this point, that's just my order. You gotta, because 1 sandwich isn't enough, 8 nuggets isn't enough. So you gotta go sandwich and then 12.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm with you because I do sandwich and the nuggets. So now, Bo, that's one more thing that you and I have in common, and I'm gonna feel less guilty when I order it again.
Exactly. Favorite sports drink? If you're going for a sports drink, what are you grabbing? Body Armor?
I got to do my strawberry banana. I got to do that.
I'm a Powerade guy.
You're a Powerade guy. Well, I could tell you, same company, Coca-Cola. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Powerade's good too. I like my that's the blue one. I like the blue. I like the berry. So
Blueberry.
yeah, so I would say Powerade's a great choice. Body Armor's awesome stuff as well. And yeah, I guess that's it. Those questions were very unique. I've never been asked what route I would love to throw to. So that's good stuff.
In the brain of a QB.
Yeah, in the brain of Bo Edmundson. Happy to have you here as always, Bo. Thank you for your time. I continue to do what you're doing. We'll keep in touch as we always do. And I very much look forward to continuing to tell your story. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you. Always.
Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank Bo Edmundson once again for being a part of the broadcast here where sports meets life inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Always appreciate having Bo join the show, a 2023 quarterback out of Lake Travis in Texas, SMU, UTSA, Oklahoma State, Purdue, Penn State, Michigan State, Utah, Kentucky, and Tulsa, all offering here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora all the way through. I feel very privileged and honored to have the opportunity to share this story, and I look forward to doing plenty more of that as we continue on here in Bo's awesome road that he is taking. So, with that being said, we'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll get you set and ready to go as the Fantasy Football Power Hour ×2 this week happens, as we do it every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Well, this week we get to do it Wednesday and Thursday because we have more to talk about. We want to get you set for your upcoming draft this summer. So with that being said, we'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal studios and be back right after this to get you set up with an all-new video with Mr. Sofka of Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com and both of us of Winning Fantasy Football, the group you should join right now on Facebook.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to be hanging out here with you on live internet streaming radio and on live internet streaming video. You're hanging out here with us on facebook.com/livenowdt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you watching on video, we're going to end this video and start a new one. As you know, when it comes to fantasy football, Mike and I go deep into all of these topics. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity to spend plenty of time with them, and in order to do that, we give you the chance to have these videos individually. So for those of you on our live feed on YouTube and Facebook, we'll end this video and start a new one, so stay right here with us.